this lesson, I'm going to go over 2 passes that I made over a 12-bar blues. I'm staying in the open G tuning GBD, GBD. The blues that I'm playing over is in the key of A, and I'm doing it without a capo. Everything that you just heard in the lesson is tabbed out, along with 2 scale patterns that you can kind of learn before you actually try to learn the solos. I recommend getting a good handle on those scale patterns. That way the solos kind of make more sense of where my ideas are coming from. Along the way in this lesson, we're going to cover some slides, hammer-ons, and pull-offs. We'll talk about different speeds of slides. Do you want to do a fast slide or a slow slide? And how that can really make a difference in how your phrasing sounds and just the overall feel of a phrase. There's also a forward slant that I did in the first pass, and we'll talk about kind of the beginnings of doing a basic forward slant and kind of my approach to getting those in tune and staying in tune as much as possible. If you are interested in the complete lesson, you can click on a link in the video description below to learn how to get access to that. You can also subscribe to my email list via a link in the video description below as well. You'll be notified periodically when new lessons are available and other things Dobro related. Thank you. All right, so let's look at measures 1 through 4. I highly encourage you to go ahead and look at the tabs of the 2 scale patterns that I have kind of tabbed out for you. Kind of get familiar with that. Some of these note selections and places of the solo will make a lot more sense after you do that. All right, so we'll go ahead and play. I'm going to go ahead and play measures 1 through 4 slowly. Alright, so that first measure is kind of all over that 1 chord of the progression, which is kind of an A chord, A7. So we play our A chord at the 2nd fret here, right? So a lot of the notes in that first measure are all kind of based around this 2nd fret. I start off with a little bit of a pickup where I'm at the 1st fret of the 2nd and 3rd string, and I hit those with my index and middle finger on my right hand. I'm going to slide into that 2nd fret. Yep, and then I'm going to move my bar to that 2nd fret of the 1st string, hit that with my middle. Then I'm going to do a triplet rhythm. It's going to be middle, thumb, middle, 2nd fret of the 1st and 2nd strings. And then with my thumb, I'm going to go back to that 2nd fret of the 2nd string, slide down to the 1st fret. That's going to resolve to the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Hit that with my thumb as well. And that brings us to measure number 2. Where we're going to be going up to kind of the D chord area, which is going to be the 7th fret of the neck. Again, I'm going to do the same kind of lead in, right? So that, if you remember in the first measure, I did that half step lead in. I'm going to do that again on the same strings, the 2nd string and the 3rd string. At the 6th fret, again hitting that with my index and middle, sliding to that 7th fret now. Right, and then just like in the last measure as well, I'm going to go to that 1st string 7th fret, hit that with my middle, and then do a triplet again, middle, thumb, middle on the first 2 strings at the 7th fret. Alright, so A chord, D chord. And then I go back down to the 1st fret on the 2nd and 3rd string again. Hit those 2 strings again, index, middle. And then kind of do a little bit of a longer slide to resolve to that A chord in measure 3. That really kind of brings out the slide characteristic of the dobro. Right, so that brings you to measure 3. That's beat 1 of measure 3. Once you get to that 2nd fret, because we're back at the A chord. Right, and then the only other note in measure 3 is I hit the top string 2nd fret with my middle. And then in measure 4, I'm going to go all the way up to that, my target note's kind of that 5th fret of the top string. I'm going to do a quick slide from the 4th fret on the top string. I'm going to hit that with my middle. And then right after that, I'm going to go back down to the 4th fret and I'm going to pick that note. That goes to the 5th fret of the 2nd string and I hit that with my thumb. Triplet rhythm. Then I go bring the bar down to the 2nd fret of the 1st string. Hit that with my middle. Then with my thumb, hit the 2nd fret of the 2nd string, slide down to the 1st fret. Again, that's a triplet rhythm. That resolves to the 2nd fret of the 3rd string with my thumb. Alright, so one more time here, measure 1 through 4.